So for me, I'm HR abnormal, that's what I call it. I've spent 14 years in operations, and I ended up in HR in a specialist role just by sheer accident. And I started off as a cashier at the cinema whilst I was studying for my cash, my extra pocket money. And when I got through to my clinical master's entrance, they actually asked me how I was going to help people without having life experience. And at that point, I was just given an opportunity to continue working at the cinema in a supervisory role. So I thought, great, I'm going to do this for a couple of years. I'm going to go back into my master's. Needless to say, I don't have a master's in clinical psychology, but I do have a business qualification now. And I think what is beautiful about what I do is I love the business pieces that I do and the operational elements, but I'm able to use my psychology skills to help the people that work with us be the best versions of themselves and ultimately the business benefits. Yeah, so I've had, I can literally jump between industries quite easily now because I've done hospitality and entertainment, I've done mining, I did business development and strategy for mining. And from there, I was looking after their HR team in the interim when the GM resigned. And 2 years later, I was still doing it. And when you do ops, you do have an HR element in all of what you do. So I had the baseline knowledge. And then the BMW was looking for a talent general manager. And I was interviewed. Actually, I was interviewed for planning and steering, which was the strategy role, and I didn't get it. So I just went on my merry way. And then they kept calling me. The director called me to say, consider the talent role. And I said to him, I've never done this a day in my life. I'm not a specialist. And eventually, the MD interviewed me himself because he wasn't convinced somebody with the operational CV could add value. And that's how I got the job. He spoke to me, and the value he saw was somebody who understood business and could build a strategy from a talent perspective with an ROI for business. I think when you in ops, and even today, the business managers are very frustrated. They get very frustrated because HR is a governance function to some degree, and then there's the other side of it, which is about how do we enable the business. But the governance piece does frustrate business. When I was in ops, one of the things I hated was being told you can't do so. So that is probably the thing that has made me the most successful. I will never tell somebody they can't do it. I'll tell them they can't do it the way they want, and then we'll find a way to make it happen if it is in the best interest of the business. So that is the one thing that has gone with me throughout every single role, and it's what's made me successful.
Brilliant. And then there's obviously a lot of learnings and themes and ideas being shared tonight. Was there something that stood out for you, something that you feel like you resonated with?
Pretty much everything. And I think what's nice, or what's not nice, but what's probably comforting from a HR and a people perspective is that everybody's dealing with the same challenges. And I think if we speak more to each other, we'll probably solve a lot more of our challenges than we currently are, because we're all sitting with the same problems, but we don't engage enough. So we're not feeding off each other to find the solution. And that's been awesome tonight, because I deal with all the same things that people in the room do, but we've now discussed it and everybody's got a different perspective. Together, somewhere in there is the answer.